When you hear the word industrial zone, what comes to your mind? A space where industries gather, ecosystems form, and livelihoods are built? The very foundation of a city's economy. In that sense, Seoul Sangga became a crucial landmark in Seoul's post-war redevelopment. The economy thrived, people enjoyed the wave of prosperity, but that prosperity didn't last long. Why not? This video explores the rise and fall of the golden era. Let me take you on the journey. I'm in the center of Seoul. The vintage building behind me is the Makercity Seoul, where many artists, photographers, and historians gather together and enjoy walking around here. And you might wonder, why am I standing here? Because this place has many hidden gems and historical background in regard to Korean modern history after Korean War. And at the same time, look around here. Especially on the right side here, there is the bridge. It looks really cool. So from now on, let's explore this area. Let's figure out what kind of Korean historical background includes in this area. Makercity Seoul was the first high building after Korean War on 25th of June 1950. At the same time was the first multi-purpose building, which means business at the same time residential areas. You know, after Korean War, second main policy from the government, they accept the westernization and try to demolish old towns, slums, hanok areas, and rebuild the new skyscrapers and high building. So Makercity Seoul was the first high building after Korean War. So normally retail stores inside Makercity Seoul, they are normally selling electronic devices, appliances, camera, telephones, and old devices, something like that. So we are going to explore this area and try to figure out what kind of things and what kind of old factory zones are there. One thing that you need to know, around Makercity Seoul, there are several sectors. Sector A, Sector B, Sector C. Sector A, electronic devices. Sector B, light. Sector C, printing zone. When travelers visit to old factory zones, they are really surprised by the old things because before they traveling to Seoul, they just imagined really well-developed cities including Hongdae, Itaewon, Gangnam, something like that. So I just try to tell them more deeper history about modern Korea, and they were really surprised how fast and how surprising the Korean industry has been developing really fast. So today, the main purpose why I visit to old factory zones, some of the old factory zones going to disappear and going to be demolished. So before they are disappearing, I try to record this moment and try to share our history and culture with you guys together. Here is the place. According to the information that I've heard, this area gonna be demolished in 6 months and going to be replaced with high buildings, skyscrapers. I, as a historian, photographer, feel really shame because I really love vintage area, and when I visit vintage area, I can imagine my parent generation's nostalgia and their memories and their experience. So we, as our next generation, we can try to reflect on their life and try to focus on our future. So before this area will disappear, I will try to walk around here, try to learn more about hidden gems of this area. So I mean, on the right side, this area gonna be demolished, but on the other hand, on the left side, this area gonna be remained because this area can be listed as a Korean cultural, like the places. So Korean government try to keep this area as a cultural asset. But these old factory zones gonna be replaced with the new skyscrapers. What a shame. As a historian, one of the hidden gems about this area, these are all factory zones, but you are able to see some murals. at the entrance of factory zones. This is really interesting, and that's why designers and artists really love this place. So I'm going to go inside and explore this area. You will be able to see so many murals in this alley. I think this is something like the mixture between old and new, something like vintage and the new. I'm a person who really loves to watch the neighbor webtoon or K webtoon. Passing by this factory zone, especially in this alley, I'm able to see so many murals, which looks like really creative K webtoon characters. So I just feel like this one is something like the mixture between the vintage and the new. So when I pass by this area, I feel creativity. So right now we are going to visit to printing zone, and we are going to figure out what kind of hidden gems are there. The areas behind me are called printing factory zones, which are really old. And when you go inside there, still those printing factory zones are operating from early morning to late night. So after night, these areas can turn into like neon sign streets, which young generation and young people enjoy the drinking alcohol, and they just roaming around there and visit to the bars, something like that. But there is one really interesting information. Have you ever heard Joseon Dynasty, which is between 1392 to 1910? 1592, Japan invaded Joseon area. So at that time, Japanese enemy had over 300 fleets and invade southern part of Joseon Dynasty. And at that time, General Lee, whose name is Lee Sun-shin, defend Japanese enemy with only 12 turtle ships, which were really developed about cannon. So Lee Sun-shin's hometown is inside over there, according to historian research. So it's really interesting point. So when you go to Gyeongbokgung Palace, in front of Gyeongbokgung Palace, there is the Gwanghwa Moon Square. In the Gwanghwa Moon Square, there are two main statues. First one is the King Sejong, and second one is the Lee Sun-shin statue. So Lee Sun-shin is really great general under Joseon Dynasty. Here is the Cheonggyecheon stream. But in the past, this Cheonggyecheon stream used to be highway. And 25 years ago, there was a big project in Seoul. Korean government made a decision to restore Cheonggyecheon stream. And after restoration of Cheonggyecheon stream, surrounding area are really developed well. But here is the one of the hidden gems. You are able to compare really developed area and vintage area at the same time, plus Cheonggyecheon stream view. So here is really one of great photo shooting place. And you might wonder why some of the area are not developed. Why? Right now I'm sitting on the stones in front of Cheonggyecheon stream. I just want to tell you one hidden gem about this area. As I mentioned earlier, this area used to be highway, but around 20 years ago, due to the one big project from government made a decision to restore Cheonggyecheon stream. The main reason why, we already walk around factory zones, right? So in the past, there were so many wastewater from factory zones. So one of the main purpose about this Cheonggyecheon stream, government tried to let the wastewater and flowing down and gather together and then try to handle those wastewater. So that's the main purpose. So the main process of restoration of this Cheonggyecheon stream, government brought the water from the Han River and then keep the waters flowing down here. So right now, they try to not connect the Han River from here to the Han River. They try to use the water underground and try to connect them each other and make the waters more clean and clear. So normally this Cheonggyecheon stream where is really famous for walking place. After people get off their work, they normally visit here and take a walk. And during summer season, Sometimes there are several events. This just offers you guys aqua shoes and get you guys wear on aqua shoes and then try to get in the water on some partial areas. So here is one of the charming places in Seoul. If you'd like to see like the nature at the same time, scenic views, this place is really best for you. So, Makercity Seoul has many hidden gems, something like the vintage things, old things, and new things as well. And we've seen so many mixtures between the old and the new, and between the vintage and the new. I, as a historian, really love to see these novelty and creativity and singular things because new things are totally predictable and old things are totally like cliche, something like that. But when it comes to the mixture between the vintage and the new, it gives me more inspiration for about the different perspective around this area. At the same time, I'm able to reflect on our old generation's experience so that I'm able to thinking about the future, what's the right direction based on the past history. Yeah, so next time when you are traveling in Seoul, you are not only visiting to popular area including Gangnam, Hongdae, Itaewon. Sometimes you are able to visit to local areas or vintage areas so that you are able to step back in the time about Korean history.